Bill, I know you kind of talked a little bit the other day about, Morgan kind of bouncing back between roles. What's it say about her that she's not only accepted that, but really stuck it out? Because, especially in this day and age, it seems like a lot of people aren't willing to do that.
No, I think that probably hits right to its core right there. Most people aren't willing to do that. In a culture that is completely me over we, she's just the opposite. She has embraced what we're about, the we over me mentality. And I think I said this the other day, I think it's a skill to show up to work every day. And to show up to work every day not really knowing what that day will bring for you personally. And you look at her, fighting through some injuries early and redshirting and, starting and coming off the bench. And, it's just, to her credit, it's been every day, whatever you need, whatever the team needs, that's what she does. And I think that's a tribute to her. It's certainly how she was raised. And I don't think it's an accident when she makes a play in a game, there seems to be a little higher level of energy from the bench and her teammates. And I think that speaks volumes to what they think of Mo and what how they feel that she's contributed to our team.
Just two things with her. One, I think she's technically got another year with COVID, or those discussions you've even had. I know it looked like she's part of the senior day festivities. And I was also kind of wondering, when you brought Stephanie in, is that a conversation, do you go out of your way to have a conversation with Morgan because, she had that spot and is essentially
Right.
kind of passing it up?
Right. The second question, yeah, we talked to her about it, the role on the team. She, again, whatever it takes. We didn't know exactly what we had in Steph. We had an idea, and we knew that Mo's role, or however you want to put it, would change some. And then as far as the redshirt, yeah, she could, but she's made the decision to move on. We had that discussion. Same thing with Maggie. We had that discussion at the beginning of the year, and for a lot of different reasons. I think it's. Mo's got a very set academic track that she wants to continue to grow on, and so I think she'll be done after this season.
Her and Maggie.
Yes.
Senior night 2.0 for Ashley Jones. How, asking you to reflect, I don't want to take up 30 minutes to ask you to
Right.
reflect on her career, but for this to truly be it in a couple of days for her, how would you put into words, I guess, what
Yeah,
she's meant?
that might take 30 minutes, but no, it's hard because, what she's done individually. I've said, she's going to have an extra room at her house or apartment wherever she lives for all the awards that she's gotten. She's someone, again, I think she's missed 3 practices in 5 years. She shows up, she works hard, she's never complained about anything. She's done everything that we've asked her to do. She's ultra skilled and will have records that will never be touched. Combination of great player and an extra year, but it's been a great. I mean, her numbers, the team success, everything you want. She's a great student. She's exactly what you want or what you were hoping for when she came here. And she's from our state, and just an amazing representative of our university, let alone our basketball program.
Bill Dene on Wednesday. I'm getting my week messed up here. But career high 26 points out of her. What have you seen from her growth just through the season?
No, Nay was tremendous last night. She's a kid that we've been saying over and over is skilled. She's tough-minded. She's not afraid of the moment. I do think that at times we, meaning me mainly, forget that she is a freshman, and not just a freshman, but someone that really missed not just last season, but all summer. So she's still, well, it's the last, we're coming on the end of the season, and that's true, but I think you can tell from January on, she's been that much better. But she can score it. She's, like I said, she's physical. She's a willing defender. She's going to be a really, really good player in this league. And I think to her credit, too, the last thing I'd say on that is she's playing against a lot of older kids. I mean, this league is really old. And every night she lines up, she's playing against a lot of kids that are fourth and fifth year in college. And, there's not many freshmen contributing at the level that Nay is. And I think she'll just get better and better.
Do you have any other updates when it comes to seniors and where I know there's some open-ended stuff, especially with Stephanie too?
Yeah, no, we will file, or I think we may have already filed. I don't know. I know we were in the process of filing a waiver to the NCAA for Steph. She wants to come back, so we did file that for her. And now we're waiting to see. The issue with Steph is sometimes the NCAA works on their own timeline. We need to have it a little more expedited. Our compliance office, our medical staff did a phenomenal job getting it together because the WNBA draft is in early April. So we have to have a lot of things done here in the next couple of weeks. So I would imagine by the end of March for sure. I think she has to declare for the draft 10 days before. Something like that. It's kind of a moving target. But the waiver's been filed, and we will know by the end of March, and whatever happens, we'll make a decision from there. But
She wants to come back.
she asked us to file the waiver, and I think she'd like to come back. The thing with me, Tommy, that I just want to make sure of, whatever happens, we need to monitor her rehab. And when the season ends and then the school year ends, that's right in the middle of a critical part of her rehab. So my main concern is that everyone involved understands that needs to be done and done right. And we'll do it right here. We just got to make sure that, and again, I have no idea how all that works. If she is drafted, we haven't got to that point, but that's my main concern is that we have all of that stuff lined up in order so that whatever the decision is that we're going, because she's got a lot of basketball ahead of her, a lot of great basketball ahead of her. So we have to do our part, and we're ready to go. It's just we got to be told what we can and can't do.
How would you, I thought it was interesting how you mentioned Maggie, but it seems like Maggie is another person that's just been through a lot during her career. Just how would you describe just the adversity she's constantly
Yeah,
faced
it's I don't know. It's not exactly the same as Mo, but it's similar. I mean, it's kind of been some really, really great moments and some struggles, physically, role changes, all that stuff. It's a very similar career path. And you look at our senior class, it's all the five that are out, that are seniors they're a completely different, how they got here, how long they've been here. But I just walked in the locker room and we have a board that lists all the senior classes when they graduated, and you look at those names and you're like, they did a lot of stuff here. Well, this group did as well. All of them very different. Some, the Ashley Joneses, 5 years of dramatic and huge contribution, and someone like Steph in a very different way, but really not less important in the views in the eyes of their teammates and coaches. So it's hard to believe it's here, but it's sadness on one hand, but it's truly a celebration on the other of the contributions that they've made to our team and to our school.
Speaking on Danae a little bit, she was one of the players that you called on after Stephanie got injured to up her production. Can you just talk about how she responded to that and how she's played from that moment on through the rest of the season?
No, she's responded great. I mean, Nay's not afraid of anything. She just, you challenge her, she kind of challenges you back sometimes, and that's a good thing. And I think I've said this many times, but I think we're at that point where even when Steph was playing, we challenged her, you're not the fifth option, you're one of the five options. And I think there's a given night, like last night, it was like, well, Ash and myself are going to have to carry this team tonight. And that mentality has always been in her, but when you're a freshman and you're kind of feeling your way with kids that have already played a lot, you might step back. But she's a fun kid to coach. She's a fun kid to be around. She loves the game. And like I said, I think last night was an example of, certainly she's not going to go out and get 26 every night, but she's capable of putting up some really big numbers.
With some years ahead of her, can you kind of predict what kind of role you'll feel like she'll have on teams as she becomes the older veteran player?
Yeah, she can become one of the better players we've had here. I really believe it. She's got the it factor. She's got an edge to her. She competes. She's physically strong. She's a good athlete. She's ultra skilled. All the things that you want in this league to be a great player, Nae's got them. She does. And it'll just, the big thing for us, again, is just making sure that we're putting in her positions to be successful. And same thing, manage, we don't want her to get hurt again either. So we got to be smart with that. But she's going to do a lot of really good things here.
It's kind of related to everything, but with the timing of the state basketball tournament, what's it been like? You can talk about Audie now that she's signed, but what's it like watching what she's accomplished, especially during this tournament?
No, I mean, she's going to go down as one of the greatest Iowa high school basketball players ever. The numbers speak for that. The success of her team speaks for that. What she's done for her community, the kind of person that she is, we're really excited to it's you can tell when I'm getting text messages and emails from yesterday from Iowa State fans or people just, hey, I'm watching Audie on TV, or we'll be there tomorrow. We couldn't go yesterday, but we'll be there tomorrow. Someone on staff will be there tomorrow to watch her. But it's a cool story because she's such an amazing person, and to see her have that kind of success and people are just drawn to her, and she's doing it on a great stage in the state tournament, and it's a moment I'm sure that she'll be very proud of the fact that when she goes back to Garrigan and sees all that stuff, she had a lot to do with that.
Wanted to follow up a little bit on Stephanie expressing the intent coming back. I think the assumption for most people was you have that type of injury, you're a graduate transfer already, just take that next step. What did she tell you that she was intending to come back, and was that surprising at all to you?
No, I think she knows, that there's still things that she can get done. And I think for her, she's very comfortable here. I think the rehab is a big piece of it. But she's someone that, I think her long-term goals, very similar to when we had Bridget. Bridget's goals were to be a great college player, but she wanted to play for Team Canada, and play in the WNBA. And Steph she wants to play for Brazil. She wants to be a WNBA player. And I do think there's a part of her that really misses. I mean, she got to play 12 games, but she played two games in 2 minutes in the Big 12. So she's missed out on all that. So, obviously, even if she gets the waiver and we find out that she's going to be a really, really, really high draft pick, we'll probably tell her, you need to go. Those evaluations will come as everyone kind of does their own medical stuff, and just like the combine, in the NFL, it's like everyone's looking at it differently. But we get a lot of questions about it. So our main job is to get her healthy, and whatever we can do to help her, that's what we're going to do.